So thank you once again for tuning in thank you for tuning in to Caribbean Magazine Plus 2023 Poetry Contest Award Ceremony. My name is Yori Camp. I'm going to be off screen. I'm the editor and the publisher of the Caribbean Magazine Plus, as well as the owner and operator of Arawak Media, the public relations company that runs Caribbean Magazine Plus. So we have here our first, second, and third place winners for the poetry contest. We have Sigmund Griffith from St. Lucia. Say hello, Sigmund.
And we all hello, good morning, everyone.
Morning. Yep, and he had his poem. His poem was The Cry, wasn't it, right?
Caribbean Cry.
Caribbean Cry. Caribbean Cry, yes. And we also have our second place finisher, Miss Sheba Sikbu from Sheba Suku from Trinidad and Tobago by way of Aruba. So her poem for second place was The Dreamer. Say hello, Sheba. Oh, I guess her mic's off. Okay. And then we also have our third place finisher, Shane Jita from Trinidad and Tobago as well. And his poem is The Zemis. How are you doing, Shane?
Hi, morning from Trinidad and Tobago, everyone. I'm fine.
Good. Thank you. And we also have our evaluator. Oh, you want to say something, Sheba? Hello.
Hi, sorry. Technical difficulties. Hi, everyone.
No problem. Good. Thank you, Sheba. So, and we also have on the line as well, Mr. Malachi Smith. He is the poetry contest evaluator for this year, and he's going to be leading the conversation this year with regard to their poem. So say hello, Malachi.
Good morning, Yuri and contestants and the world who's watching on.
Thank you so much, Malachi. So I leave it over to you, Malachi.
Well, first and foremost, on behalf of Caribbean Magazine Plus, I just want to say a big congratulations to the winners. And of course, to all the entrants, you were all winners, whether or not you placed in the top 3 positions. And just briefly, many of the entries, and there were many entries, had some good things going on for the most part, but a lot of them ended up being prose. A lot of them too needed editing and stuff like that. And I would like to say that poetry is the process of elevating ordinary words to higher heights. So we want to do things with words, which the winners did successfully. It also must have a perceived and sustainable rhythm of its own, again, which you winners had for the most part. And it must be language, which by itself use of metaphors and or symbolism creates an emotionally pleasurable response in the audience and engages the senses and stuff like that. Congratulations again. I must say that I had the Cryers first place, 2 second place, and the 3rd place. However, Yuri is the publisher and he went ahead and listed them as 1, 2, 3. All right. Sigmund, Caribbean Cry. Beautiful poem, beautiful imagery and metaphors. Tell us, why Caribbean Cry this
time? Caribbean Cry, what it meant to me was, what inspired it actually was something that after seeing the contest published, I wanted a piece that kind of resonated with all of the Caribbean. Since it's Caribbean Magazine Plus, I wanted to capture that kind of image, and I was thinking as to what might resonate with most of the nations in the Caribbean, from Guyana in the south all the way to the Bahamas in the north. And one of the things that stood out to me is with progress, with development, you find that a lot of culture can run the risk of being lost. And that's what led me to writing the Caribbean Cry poem. Just as a reminder that while we do need to progress, progress is a part of life and human nature, but we also need to be mindful of our heritage, mindful of our cultures, and where you draw the line between progress and preserving culture. Luckily for me, I don't have the headache of determining where that line is to be drawn, but it's a difficult job and we still need to be aware of it.
Thank you. And it is interesting because the theme that you just mentioned seemed to have run into most of the entries, this whole questioning of past, present, future where we are in this time with our issues, you know, the undercurrents. Great work. Sheba, talk to us about the dream. I found it magical, very imaginative. It engages my senses a lot, and it has a beautiful rhythm too. And what was the genesis for this poem, The Dreamer?
Well, as you said, it was kind of magical, and indeed, the intention was that, because it's like we live in this world, and a lot of people are, they try to escape in their thoughts, because there you can go wherever you need to be, right? And for me, it's trying to get the message, but the way I wrote it, and what I got was that when you read it, you should actually feel like you are me in that dream. And that's why I had the dreamer. And I think a lot of my friends and close friends that read the poem, they felt like when they read it, they were actually there with me in that reality, that that kind of made up reality that you think, but also trying to get the strong message across that even though we live in a world where things are not perfect, that you can make a difference by just you being kind and you being, yourself and hoping for the best. So it's really like a combination of bringing the magic into the reality and making life a happy place, So
So it provides an escape and transports the reader into a new reality, a more pleasant
exactly.
one from the contemporary.
But then coming back to the present moment to say, yes, you can escape to that fairy tale world, but at the end you have to live in the reality and make the best of it, and hope that one day you can feel like how you feel in that escape, in that dream, you can feel like that in the real world as well.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Yes, so I had your poem and the Zem is actually timed for second. So Shane, I want to talk to you. Actually love this poem. I saw it as an epic poem that captures the history, culture, custom, religion, and practices, wars, and survival of a people. The Anaks, so you say the Arawaks, so the Anaks are Tainos, while drawing on religious motives. It is shared in vivid and as a poetic language, this whole battle, rich imagery, poetic devices. It engages cognition and tactility, the whole 9 yards. So we see them, we suffer with them, we feel them, and all kind of stuff. And it's kind of interesting in that the indigenous, say, peoples of the Caribbean tend to get forgotten so much in our discourse, in our contemporary discourse. I get left behind as society, say, evolves and develops. Why this poem now?
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Why the Zemis? I'm a lover of fantasy. I'm a lover of the rich folklore and the myths of Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. And I wanted a poem, I wanted a story that really brought that fantastical element of our rich history to a modern day reader in a way that resonates with their imagination. And I wanted a heroic story that rivals what we see coming out of Hollywood. We need heroes locally from the Caribbean, but grounded in our own myths and legends that we are able to understand and accept. It's not coming from outer space, it is coming from the earth, it is coming from the water and the rocks, it is coming from the animals around us, it is coming from our environment. And if we draw on those powers, we ourselves in our own way can become heroes in our own lives. And we have that responsibility to the environment and to our culture and our traditions to keep protecting it. So I wrote these Emmys grounded in that rich tradition of the indigenous peoples, but it's a story of heroism, it's a story of repentance, and it is a poem that I really sat and I thought needed to be told. Just like the great epics, I needed an epic for the Caribbean. I sat and I wrote it, and I'm very happy that it has been accepted in this manner.
Yeah, you did a phenomenal job with it. And the good thing about it, even though it is so long, it was consistent in good poetry devices. You know, it contained the metaphors and the stuff like that. And I'd want to think that it would trigger for those who read the poem, and people should read it. It's the type of poem that people in the Caribbean needs to read. That would say whet the appetite for people to want to dig more into their past and kind of touch it, even though you're fantasizing with the poem and the story. But you did a phenomenal job of it. Okay, so as I said, I had both of you for second, and then I had the Rage for third, and I said you made the decision. But to me, the Rage, I just want to mention, is a poem that contains all the elements of a good poem, and it speaks and communicates to the audience through the senses, which is wonderful. Again, you are all great writers. Enjoy this enormously. I decided that I was going to take about a week and do it. And once I started reading, the poems really grabbed me. So I just, went outside in my backyard under a mango tree and just dug into them for like 2 days and dealt with it. Congratulations again, and keep up the good writing. And don't just keep the poems to yourself. They belong to the people. Share it with the people. Go there in the communities and read. The world, our region has a lot of issues, a lot of problems. And poetry has a way of healing us, speaking to the emotions. And we are, as storytellers, as healers, as magicians in our own right, to utilize our words to influence the good and the better in society. Thank you, Yuri, for the opportunity to have been the judge for the contest, and congratulations again to all the winners.
Thank you so much, Malachi, for that wonderful ceremony. Thank all the winners as well. You guys, I read your poems as well. They're beautiful poems. They're wonderful poems. And I just want to thank Malachi Smith for being so gracious and being evaluated this year. I'm so thankful for that, Malachi. I am. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just some housekeeping matters before we log off. Okay, you guys have your certificates now.
You disappeared?
It seems you love it.
Yuri, are you there? Apparently we lost him. Oh, he's back.
Yes, my apologies. I had a break in my electricity just then. A short little break. Yeah.
Okay, we realized you were gone.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, yeah, we're gonna start our short story contest in October, probably next week. That's gonna run until next year, January. And we're gonna have Dr. Nicola Hunt, the University of the West Indies professor, in literature and English language at the Cave Hill University of West Indies. She's going to be the evaluator again. She's been doing it for us for the past 2 years now. She said she's going to give us 3 years. So this year is going to be her last year. So Malachi, we're looking for an evaluator for our short story contest. So if you have anyone in your circles that can be our evaluator, please share it with us. We'd really enjoy that.
Okay, I can think of 2 names straight off the top of my head. Professor Opal Palmer Dissa
Yes.
in UWI Jamaica, and Jeffrey Phil, who is a retired professor who lives in Miami.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So we have that locked. And I'll be back to you, Malachi, after this. I'm going to stop the live stream now. I'm going to tell you some